It is 11:43 on a Tuesday morning. You are sitting at your kitchen table with a cup of coffee that has gone cold. You are not at work. There is no meeting, no commute, no email pulling at your attention. The city outside your window is moving at its usual pace, but you are not part of it today. Not because you are sick, not because you took the day off. Because sometime last year, the money started arriving on its own. And now you have a choice about Tuesday morning that most people do not know exists. This is what the end of the dividend journey looks like. But nobody starts here. You start somewhere much quieter. Rank 1, the curious. You are 23, maybe 26. You have a job, you have bills, you have a savings account that earns you something close to nothing. And then one evening you go down a rabbit hole. Someone online mentioned passive income. Someone else mentioned dividends. You Google it. You read something about getting paid just for owning a stock. You read it again. It sounds almost too simple, too clean, like something they forgot to tell you in school. Here is what nobody tells you about this moment. Most people feel it. Very few act on it. The feeling passes and the morning alarm comes back and the paycheck cycle continues, and the curiosity disappears under the weight of the ordinary. But a small group of people cannot let it go. They stay up a little later. They read one more article. They ask one more question. They do not know yet that this is how it starts. Not with a big decision, not with a lot of money, just with a question that refuses to leave quietly. You are still watching at this point, still doubting, still telling yourself you will figure it out once you have more money. But the curiosity is there, and that is enough to move you forward. Rank 2, the starter. You put in your first real investment, maybe $300, maybe $500. You find a dividend-paying stock or a simple ETF with a solid yield, and you click the buy button, and then you wait. A few months later, something small arrives. A notification, a deposit, a number in your brokerage account that was not there before. $47. You stare at it. You know logically that $47 is not life-changing. You know your rent is $1,200. You know this does not solve anything. But something in your chest shifts anyway. Because that $47 arrived while you were at work, while you were sleeping, while you were driving home on a Thursday. It arrived without you doing a single thing. And the feeling attached to that is not about the amount. It is about what the amount represents. The strange part is this. Most people at this rank start spending the dividend the moment it arrives. They treat it like a bonus, like found money. And that one habit, that one small instinct, costs them years. The people who win at this game do not spend the $47. They buy more shares with it. They reinvest it. They understand, even at this early stage, that the game is not about income yet. The game is about accumulation. Your life at rank 2 is still mostly normal. You still need your job. You still stress about your expenses. But now there is a second account growing quietly in the background, small and easy to ignore. You do not ignore it. Rank 3, the grower. Now the numbers are real enough to feel. Your portfolio has grown to somewhere between $15,000 and $60,000. The dividend income is somewhere between $1,000 and $10,000 per year, which means somewhere between $80 and $800 per month is arriving without labor. You start to feel it in your decisions. You say no to overtime shifts with less guilt. You feel slightly less afraid of your boss. You still need the job, but the job has started to feel a little less like a life sentence and a little more like a choice you are making while the other plan catches up. Here is what nobody says out loud at this stage. It stops feeling like investing. It starts feeling like building. There is a difference. Investing is something you do when you have extra. Building is something you do with intention. Every paycheck, you move something across. Every quarter, you reinvest the dividends. Every year, the number is noticeably larger. You have crossed a psychological line that most people never cross. You now think about your portfolio the way you think about your career, as something that compounds, as something with a trajectory, as something that requires patience but is undeniably going somewhere. The discipline here is boring on the surface, but underneath, it is the most powerful thing you are doing with your life. Rank 4, the builder. This is the rank where compounding stops being a concept and starts being a physical reality in your account. Your portfolio sits somewhere between $150,000 and $400,000. Your dividend income is somewhere between $10,000 and $40,000 per year. Somewhere between $800 and $3,300 per month arriving without you lifting a hand. And you start to do the math differently now. Before this, you thought about dividends in terms of what they could buy: coffee, a dinner, a car payment. Now you think about them in terms of what they can build. You reinvest everything. You watch the dividend income grow each quarter. You understand now that there is a moment coming, maybe 2 or 3 years away, where the income from your portfolio will exceed what you earned in your first job. And that thought does something unusual to your sense of time. It makes the present feel smaller and the future feel enormous. This is where it changes, not just financially, emotionally. The stress around money begins to soften, not disappear, but soften. You still have expenses, you still have responsibilities, but there is a floor now, a number below which your life cannot fall. That floor changes how you carry yourself. It changes what risks you are willing to take. It changes what conversations you are willing to have with your employer. At rank 4, you are not free yet, but you can see freedom from where you are standing. Rank 5, the free. Your dividend income now covers your expenses. Maybe $45,000 a year, maybe $70,000, maybe just enough or more than enough, but the line has been crossed. The portfolio is working harder than your job ever did. And for the first time in your adult life, the paycheck from your employer is optional. Read that again. Optional. Not everyone at this rank quits their job. Some love what they do. Some stay for the structure. Some keep working because the extra income accelerates the portfolio further. But the weight is gone. The quiet panic that lives in most people's chest. The one that says, I cannot afford to lose this. The one that makes you agree when you should push back. The one that keeps you small in rooms where you should be large. That panic is gone. You are 38, maybe 42. The city is the same. The world is the same. But you move through it differently. Your relationships are different. You are more patient with the people you love because you are less desperate in general. You are more selective about your time because you now know what your time is worth in a way you could not have understood before. You sleep differently, not longer, differently, with a quietness that comes from knowing that tomorrow is not threatening you. The hidden truth at this rank is that freedom does not feel like celebration. It feels like exhaling, long and slow, like a breath you have been holding for 15 years. Rank 6, the sovereign. Your portfolio now generates somewhere between $100,000 and $500,000 per year in dividend income. The number is abstract to most people, but very specific to you. You have a spreadsheet. You know the exact yield on each position. You know the dividend growth rate. You know what the next 5 years look like if nothing changes except time. You have stopped thinking about money as something you earn. You now think about money as something you manage. The expenses of your life are handled entirely by the portfolio. The portfolio handles them without being touched. And so you wake up every morning with a singular question that most people never get to ask. What do I actually want to do today? But here's the part that surprises people. This rank has a quiet cost. The people around you begin to exist in a different frame, not because you changed, but because the context changed. Your friends are still working for money. Your family still worries about money, and you cannot fully explain your world to them because it operates by different rules. You still love them. You still show up. But there is something they cannot see from where they are standing, and sometimes you feel the distance without being able to name it. Nobody says this out loud, but wealth, at this level, is a little lonely in ways that smaller amounts of money are not. Rank 7, the architect. $500,000 per year in dividend income. perhaps more. The number is no longer a goal. It is simply a fact. Your life is not organized around earning money. Your life is organized around deciding what the money should build. Trusts, foundations, positions in companies you believe in, income streams designed to outlive you, letters to your children, conversations with estate attorneys, decisions about what kind of entity your wealth should become in the next generation. You are no longer a dividend investor in the way that term is usually understood. You are a system, a structure, a set of decisions made compounding quietly through time. And the strangest part is that your daily life can look almost ordinary. You have a kitchen, you drink coffee, you go for walks, you have hard days. You still feel things that have nothing to do with money, but the floor of your life is permanent. Nothing ordinary can remove it. And that is such a different way to exist that most people would not recognize it as the same species of living as what they are doing. It is still 11:43 on that Tuesday morning. The coffee is cold, the city is moving, and you are sitting there in a silence that took years to build, quarter by quarter, reinvestment by reinvestment, one boring, disciplined decision at a time. Somewhere out there, a 24-year-old is reading about dividends for the first time. They are skeptical. They are curious. They do not know yet that curiosity is all they need to begin. The number you have now once felt impossible to you too. The only difference between then and now is time, and the decision to start.